Una siya when yeah,
nahinto
so
na.
yeah, but according to Jason, the new
Di,
professors and
ah,
faculty wanted to revive it.
oh, they should recognize that it's
Yeah.
needed. And if the AIM has a very good facility to do this, in
Yes.
fact, in the programs I'm proposing for this year, I will formalize an invite to have AIM as a partner in terms of disaster resiliency.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Well,
kasi you have the
laboratory.
expertise.
Yes, yes, sir. And it's a good laboratory for all cohorts collaborating together. So we had MDM, DRCM,
Exactly. Oh,
MDA, yeah, and
we will not work in silos here.
yes,
Kailangan lahat marunong kasi even disaster preparedness is needed by all captains of industries.
that's true, sir. Yeah.
So lahat, everybody should be involved. That's how we were trained. Each one has a responsibility for
Saan sa
safety,
Shell?
health, environment, security.
Yep.
Training sa Shell?
Oo, lahat. And
Yep.
I was the lead Ako yung may hawak ng HSSE and sustainable development. So, kultura yan eh. Hindi
So
basta-basta
would you say na yung system niyo is yun, could be better than LGU DRR systems?
Definitely.
Disaster risk.
Yeah, definitely because you need ang level of competence nila. If I would rate it siguro from scale of 1 to 5, hindi pa nga abot ng 3 yan.
Yung
Because
LGU.
basically 2 is on paper and they start giving awards when you have good plans. It doesn't mean that it will work if you not even exercise it. So, siguro MMDA sort of sige nasa close to 3. 3 is in place. That means if there's an emergency or disaster, it will be activated well and everything will be functioning. Pero if it's a way of life already, talagang anytime, yan yung score number 5 as a way of life. Pero wala tayo dun. Hindi pa nga aware yung iba on the proper organization eh. But the thing is, even as you upscale them, upscale their skill level, you have to involve them. And that's very sensitive. Dapat sila ang boss pagdating sa government. So you really have to show them alternatives. I remember during my stint sa Malampaya, I would visit the Philippine Coast Guard kasi they should be part of our response, emergency response. So maraming visits, show them our emergency response room, control center at the specs. And that also, what we showed, when PDRF was formed, isa yun sa mga showcase ng Shell. So we have to do this, this is how it's operated. Ganun. So medyo advanced yung oil industry sa ganyan kasi nga yung oil spill ang kalaban mo diyan. It can end your company if you're not able to manage it well.
Question, Makati as a business district, ang daming mga headquarters dyan. So, yung City of Makati, curious lang ako, di ba are they equipped as a city to work closely with corporate HQs?
That I cannot say until I'm able to make an assessment. But with the membership, partner companies supporting yung PDRF, I presume there may be already a sort of a working thing with other LGUs. Kasi PDRF should be aware of that. That's the need for business continuity, mga response. So, many corporations are members eh. Pero yung level of competency per organization, iba-iba yan.
Sige, ganito, it's 3:43. Nire-record naman natin to so that aware naman tayo that
12:43.
12, yeah, 12:43. Aware naman
Let's
tayo.
start na.
Yeah, we can start and then the idea is we would post this online so that
Correct.
if you didn't make it,
Just
they can
record
just
it.
watch. Oo, di ba?
Oh.
And then mag-sign
Yeah,
up.
we can build it from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can start, and then let's talk as if there were 100 people in the room. And
Our
at least
audience
meron tayo
is
si
the whole
Ryan at saka si
alumni.
Jeff.
And then
Yes, yes.
we just have to emphasize we are recording already, no?
Yes, yes. And then we'll just trim out
Okay.
yung chikahan natin kanina.
But emphasize that it's not limited only to MDM, because eventually
Basta
everybody can
AIM,
join depending on
Okay, good, good, good. Oh, sige, sige.
sige, start.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elmer Soriano, and I'm joined by Pons Carpio from the IMDM, and we welcome you to this orientation on the Gaston Z. Ortigas Fellowship Program. We're partnering with IMDM, and maybe Pons can share a few words about IMDM.
I'll share more about IMDM later on, but just a few words. Well, IMDM, which stands for International Movement of Development Managers, is a creation of our batch in 2000 when we were midstream in our batch. We had some brainstorming of what comes next, and one of the outputs is, well, we have to take actions on what we have learned here, because we believe that knowledge without action is useless. So, but we need we recognize that we have to work as an organization. So that's why we set up and put up and registered IMDM, so International Movement of Development Managers. Ang founding members were not only graduates of yung class namin, but we invited also others. So si Coratec, which batch ahead of us, was in fact a prime mover in really shaping it all these years. And so we have been nurturing the organization, doing our bits, and I can tell more about that later on after yung stint ni Elmer. So that's it for now.
Okay, thank you, Pons. Sige, so I will be presenting the concept of uh, um, the Gaston Z. Ortigas Fellowship Program. And let me just share my screen. Hold on. For those of you who who remember Prof. Titus Ortigas, Prof. Titus Ortigas is the son of si Gaston Z. Ortigas Sr. So si Prof. Titus is Gaston Ortigas Jr. Si Prof. Gasti Ortigas Sr. was a president of AIM, and then under his it was during his term that the MDM program was conceptualized. No? And he was a development and justice advocate, and we're thankful to the Ortigas family. Pinaalam natin to that we would name this fellowship program after their father, si Gasti Ortigas. So I'll share with you the fellowship program as we have conceptualized it. Yeah, no. So Prof. Gasti Ortigas was a pivotal figure sa AIM. He was the Dean of the Asian Institute of Management from 86 to 1990, and it was during that period na conceptualize yung development management. And he was an advocate in many different sectors, and we thought that he's a good model na yung engagement niya as a change manager, hindi confined to a change agent. He wasn't confined to just a single sector. So for the Gaston Z. Ortigas Fellowship, or GZO Fellowship, we aim to address large-scale climate and social equity challenges. No? So MDM was started in the early 1990s, at the start, wala pang internet noon. No, when I was a student in 97, early stage pa lang yun ng internet, and email was a breakthrough technology. Pero ngayon, the external environment is far bigger and far more complex and far more technology enabled, and therefore development managers like ourselves can induce change on a larger scale. Now, we're also plugged into large complex systems na naabutan natin. We experienced COVID, the pandemic, and we saw how systems can change overnight, and these are enabled by technologies. And also disruptions can happen very quickly. So the fellowship program aims to empower AIM alumni, not just MDM alumni, but AIM alumni, to lead initiatives that foster sustainable development and community well-being at scale, no? With emphasis on the scale, kasi as as managers, as professional managers, we're already equipped to influence the firms or the organizations that we work in. But because of technology and because of the scale of the problems, there's an opportunity to lead ecosystems, no? Networks, consortia. And if you think about the AIM alumni, there are over 1,000 MDM alumni. And I don't know how many AIM alumni yung counterpart niyan. Baka 20,000 or 30,000 since AIM was started. So imagine, and now it's so easy to connect with each other. So imagine what we could do collectively if we knew how to lead and mobilize for collective action. So for the fellowship program, it would be a 6 to 12 to 24-month program, depending on the appetite of the fellows, and what they want to do during the fellowship. But the key themes will include bridging leadership, systems thinking, community resilience, and complex systems. No? We will focus on wicked problems na madalas hindi kaya, na no single organization can solve these problems, and that's where change agents at the ecosystem level will intervene, and yun yung gusto naming projects ng mga fellows. Hold on. Yeah. So eligibility and curriculum, this is open to all AIM alumni who are interested in developing their leadership skills, upskilling, no, yung mga natutunan natin in the 1990s and early 2000s, baka may new tools na pwede tayo matutunan to propel us in the next several years. The curriculum will include a set of modules that cover new areas of leadership, AI, policy design, and community-centered engagement. One technique that we will teach na maaring hindi na practice ng mga students while you were students, because you needed a real-world platform and maybe you couldn't have done that while you were enrolled, is the problem-driven iterative adaptation. No? This is a technique developed at Harvard Kennedy School of Government, where we engage real-world systems and look at leverage points. Para kahit na konti lang tayo or limited resources, with the right leverage points, interventions at the right leverage points, we can trigger a cascade of outcomes. Yeah. Yeah. So we will attempt to work on leadership and leadership beyond your existing organizations, no? Deploying yourself in complex intersections. Kasi yung SDGs, Ang daming mga intersections yan na hindi kaya ng isang organization. Even if you're in government, ang daming complex intersections. And then we also will be encouraging fellows to leverage the infrastructures of government and universities. No? We have some techniques and platforms that will allow you to engage universities at a relatively high level so that you get to leverage the brain power of a few individual or a few dozen faculty and a few hundred to a few thousand university students. No? The same for government. No? We can work with leverage points at subnational, national, and transnational levels so that we can have a possible impact across countries, no, in Southeast Asia, across multiple countries. So we will be choosing techniques na ganon. So there will be mentorship. We have a few MDM alums who will guide us. Hindi naman sila super experts in this. No? We're still peers, we're still fellow alums, but we've been practicing using these techniques for some time, so we can share with you how we deploy these techniques. And then ecosystem-based leadership training, meaning we will be helping you locate yourself in the institutional ecosystem and then see how you can induce change across multiple geographies and institutions. We'll be going for scale, just like I mentioned. And then we'll be using tools, including AI-enabled tools. Ang bilis lumabas ng mga AI tools, and they're actually very powerful. And it's like, being a manager having 10 to 20 MDM alumni as teammates. No? With the right techniques, we can leverage AI so that we're able to multiply our knowledge capital tenfold. So our intention is to develop the MDM alumni's collective capacity to not just MDM but AIM alums collective capacity. So while the fellowship is for individuals, we're hoping na mag-emerge rin yung awareness and potential for collective action. Not just MDM, there are over 1,000 alumni, all in positions, middle to senior management, all over the Philippines and in other countries. So, and then if you start counting MBM alumni as well, ang dami nun, no? And we can influence our own organizations and enter into inter-organizational partnerships if we just had the platform. And we're hoping that could be the beginnings of that kind of a collaboration platform. Ayan. Okay. Yun. Yan. So ang mangyayari, we will expect the fellows, those who are interested in the fellowship, to submit 3 to 5 possible initiatives that they have some professional expertise, although you need not be limited to your expertise. No? You can use this as a way of pivoting to a new sector, or expanding or extending your current portfolio. So you can use the fellowship program as a platform for that. And then we will help you identify entry points so that you can start engaging and deploying yourself in the spaces. And then, there may mga tools and hacks already so that yung nosebleed na gagawin noon, yung mga log frame, mga ganyan, AI can now help accelerate the cognitive work, no? Or deload us from the cognitive work. Of course, our expertise and judgment will still be needed, and we will leverage that against technology. Yeah, so we will have a minimum of 6 months. the intention is for us to have a series of lecture videos, short lecture videos that you can view asynchronously at your own convenience. And then we will also have monthly check-in meetings, no? So that as a cohort, magkikita-kita tayo on Zoom, sabay-sabay. You get to know your cohort mates, develop rapport, uh, and then share ideas. Parang yung learning teams or CAN groups sa MDM. And then by the second month, we will help you identify and engage in entry points. If you want to engage at the city level, provincial level, regional level, or national level, gusto mo nyo mag-engage doon, we'll help you identify entry points, we'll introduce you para yung pasok nyo doon as a change maker with a platform. No? I-share ko lang last month, we had fellows, they were actually MDM students, and then we pushed them so that they pitched a proposal to Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte. And then yun, nakakuha sila ng meeting, they were able to present their proposal. And we expect our fellows to be able to engage at city level at least, no? City level at the smallest scale, and then pwedeng provincial, regional, national, or transnational. And then by the third month, we'll be iterating. No? We will see how the institutional arrangements are evolving para mapahinog natin. No? And then the institutional partners become serious, high leverage, high value platforms. In terms of learning support, we will have a learning facilitator. We'll be working in learning teams. You will be learning much of what you will learn here through real-world on-site partnerships with mayors, governors, agencies. And then we also have a number of laboratories that you can use as vehicles for your advocacy. So we have Financial Inclusion Lab, Zero Hunger Lab, Climate Action Labs. We have multiple labs na pwede niyong gamiting platforms. So the costing of this, ang full cost nito is 30,000 pesos. And we have mobilized some sponsors and support so that we can reduce the learning fee to 5,000 pesos. Para hindi naman pahirapan, especially for the new fresh graduates or those who graduated recently. Successful applicants are encouraged to engage in local resource development and then mapping opportunities para maging sustainable and scalable. For those fellows who are interested, we can attempt to locate you and help you to engage in UN adjacent initiatives so that you will be close enough to United Nations agencies, no? UNODC, UNICEF, WHO, depending on where your portfolio is, so that this can also be a platform to thrust you and help you expand your professional contacts. Okay, so ito, no? So we're inviting all AIM alums who are interested in this journey. We have a website. We'll be posting it, and we look forward to those of you who are interested in participating in this program. Okay, so that's all. Now we'll turn you over to Pons Carpio to share what IMDM has been doing and how IMDM can also be a platform for for leadership and development interventions. Pons?
Yes, thank you, Elmer. One moment, huh? I'm just sharing my slides. And we have a bit 30 minutes, no? Can you see my slides? One moment. Not yet?
Yes, we can see it, pero hindi pa naka-presentation. Ayan.
Ayan. Ayan na.
Okay.
Okay. Now, tama-tama, while listening to your presentation, Elmer, no? You mentioned about complex challenges and available tools nowadays, unlike during the time we were taking up our MDM, and a lot more. I'm just thinking, perfect na perfect yung ipipresent ko sa dito kasi it will give you a lot of a platform where you can implement and be in the fellowship program, yung GZO fellowship program led by Elmer, and apply it in whatever initiatives we have at IMDM. So in this presentation, I intend to give you a bit of the history where we are para alam nyo what should you decide in the future to be part of IMDM and its consultancy services, which is IMDM Sustainable Development Projects. You will have a better understanding on what opportunities you have and what challenges are we working together on, and a lot more. And you can realize, or we can realize, what more potential do we have as we mature in this GZO program, at the same time as we also progress with the various initiatives in IMDM. So this presentation, taking action towards good governance and sustainable development, well, encapsulates all the challenges that we have, no, as development professionals. And this was what we were challenging ourselves way back in 2002 to 2003, when we were in the midst of the Master in Development Management course at AIM. And immediately after graduation, we decided that we will formalize the organization International Movement of Development Managers. So I'm one of the founding members, no? Currently the president. Now, just going back, when we were challenging ourselves, I mentioned earlier, this was what we emphasized, with all the knowledge that we have, useless yan kung walang action. So action, not mere knowledge, is key to sustainable development. We all have to walk the talk. And this is not just an empty statement. We've practically lived it. And for my personal case, which I will share with you, I saw this when I was involved in the building up of the Malampaya Deepwater Gas to Power project, because I come from the oil industry and was fortunate enough to be part of this project from start, way back in the EIA stage, the environmental impact assessment stage, up to the operations phase. So I saw the entire project implementation from the time we did our stakeholder engagements of stakeholders spanning Palawan, Batangas, Mindoro, and national, and going through the challenges of the project and delivering it. And successfully delivering it until now. Malampaya is still there, more than 20 years already after. So let me share with you that story so that you'll understand where we're coming from and why we are fully committed to take the lessons from this in moving forward as we face all the challenges that we have as a people, as development managers, as professionals. And this applies to everyone. As Filipinos, as Bicolanos. I'm a Bicolano, by the way. So let me walk through this presentation. So Elmer mentioned this already. We face complex challenges in society that one can't solve alone. In fact, when listening to President Ji Kyung Kang in her welcome remarks or message during that handover of the project Ahon Siargao, led by MDM alumna si Coratec and one of the board of directors members ng IMDM. Sabi niya ni President Ji Kyung, one thing I observe in the Philippines is that they work in silos, government agencies. There's very little collaboration. Exactly, spot on. So that's what we really wanted to to work on, because if we work together as one, we can be very, very powerful. But if we work in various endeavors, kalat, we will not be able to meet our objectives. So let me walk you through this. I mean, thinking, which is of course applying the systems thinking, and with better tools now, we are more excited on facing the challenges, because we really need to work together as one team. Now, these complex challenges, what are these? In the context of the Philippine society, these are the complex vicious cycle or wicked cycle, wicked problems, as from the slides of Elmer, no? Of systemic and interconnected challenges that center on poverty, leading to lack of education, unemployment, more poverty, exploited and poor electoral systems to select good leaders. And by the way, we are having a upcoming election, and you know already the candidates, and sometimes you feel frustrated about it, but let's do something about it. No? To select good leaders, then graft and corruption, very much highlighted in recent days, leading to poor infrastructure. I just saw a newly inaugurated bridge from Davao leading to another island. A beautiful bridge, but after a few months, nasisira na. And we know some of the root causes of this kind of infrastructure we're facing, because as Mayor Magalong has mentioned, sometimes ang kinakalta sa budget umaabot sa 40%. In the past, it was like 20%. Ngayon, nasa 40 or even more depending on the projects. And only 60% to 20% are left to project implementation. The popular projects that we're hearing now as based on the project on the budget presentations are what? Asphalting, flood control projects. It's so easy to take money from all these projects because they're not well inspected or audited. So we can name a lot. Roads leading to Bicol, for example, on a yearly basis, they're maintained on a yearly basis, and they get destroyed in a very short span of time. You can just imagine not meeting the standards, no? So degradation of the environment, the flood that we experience in Naga, unprecedented, no? It's also contributed by the denudation of the mountains surrounding the Bicol River basin. Criminality and violence, peace and order, security, helplessness, out-migration of Filipinos, deteriorating values, and this one is also highlighted by even our leaders with very unethical practices. Uncompetitiveness of the Philippines, and mind you, in the 60s and the 50s, we reminisce that we were just second to Japan in terms of Asia. And now, kulelat na talaga tayo, no? Uncompetitiveness of the Philippines and many more, the cancer of our society, as what Dr. Jose Rizal has termed it. So, more than 100 years ago, alam na Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, about the complex situation that we are in. So what are we doing as development managers? So, but just to illustrate to you in a systemic way, these challenges, I show you this slide that I showed as part of my thesis then. And this is what Henry Tenedero has mentioned, our president, our class president. Ito yung spaghetti slides ni Pons. We are very popular in our MDM 2003 because we always refer to it, even our recent workshops. No? So this is in a nutshell, in one slide, these complex challenges that are centered on poverty. In the middle, you see the poverty. Poverty causes poor education. And remember, just recently, the EDCOM 2 declared the crisis in education that we are experiencing. With poor education, what happens? There's a lot, no? We have, if E, that means poor education can lead to poor efficiency of electoral system. And then we don't have the ability to elect good leaders because our constituency are not well educated to select the right leaders. No? Naniniwala sila sa popularity ng mga actors natin. That they are, wow, as they were portrayed in the movies, mga bida yan, magagaling yan. But, even Senator Drilon mentioned about, if you're a very good actor, that's your competency, but not necessarily good as a senator. No? Then if you have poor leaders, you have poor governance efficiency. And this governance efficiency can lead to poor law enforcement, poor delivery of services, our roads and bridges, etc. No? Poor law enforcement will lead to environmental degradation. Kasi kahit may mga exclusive zone tayo, conservation zone, wala, napuputol yung mga kahoy, and then we experience the floods. No? And then with poor infrastructure, the cost of doing business is very high, especially with corruption. Poor infrastructure, poor roads in travel time takes longer than what's necessary. You have gridlocks. Yeah? So this leads to our poor competitiveness as a nation. And that leads to poor FDIs. No? So all of these are linked. So how do you solve that problem? Kung nag-iisa ka lang, hindi mo masosolve. So we really have to work together and assemble teams that will work together. No? And mentioned these complex challenges remain where solutions cannot be done alone. And Elmer mentioned about pandemics, graft and corruption, disaster resiliency, poorest region ng Bicol, no? Sustainable development goals. You need to work together. And the education crisis, do you think it is just owned by DepEd? No, sir. Talagang marami ang kailangan ma-involve sa education crisis. You always hear about whole of nation approach. So let's really give flesh to this idea, no? Yung whole nation approach. And this is the platform that we are offering. And mind you, all of these complex challenges are interconnected. And now, recently, and nowadays, we talk about the reality of volatility, is uncertainties, complexities, and ambiguities, yung VUCA that you have learned in our MDM class. No? So, a lot of challenges, and if you recognize this, these are causes of our what becomes of our country. And some are really frustrated about this, and they do whatever they want to do, leave the country or rebel. No, so just to show to you the impact of pandemic. When the pandemic in 2020 hit us, daming unemployed, ang daming nagsarang businesses, no, and yet we experienced graft and corruption during the implementation of vaccines, etc. No, so if we will look at that societal cancer as this in this figure, no, depicted by this, we as development managers, we should have and leaders should have the creativity and the dynamic partnerships to put order into the system so that we are able to solve and move more efficiently. So from chaos to order. That's the challenge of the bridging leaders in today's complex world. Why bridging leaders? Because we need to have the skill sets of bridging leaders in connecting different various organizations and individuals. Hindi lang basta-basta leadership. In basta-basta leadership, you can be the head of an organization. But bridging leadership is a different skill set that you need because you will be working with other organizations, even your competitors. You work with them. Because when you address like disasters and crises, kailangan mo, you work with government, with civil sector society, with private groups. So bridging leaders. And as leaders and development managers, we have to have the superior strategies to maintain balance to achieve effective social change. Kailangan din ng strategy. Hindi lang basta-basta. You're aware of it, but what's your strategy? Will you be effective in doing it? So it needs a lot of continuous learning from our end. In fact, it needs excellence, mastery of self, and synergy of action, no? So that we can bring our part of the world to a better and more competitive nation that can work with other developed nations. Now, our proposed strategy when we deliberated on, during learning the MDM 2003 class and reflecting on it from my Malampaya project days. Our strategy is from mere cooperation and alliance, no? Because that is currently what's happening. We work with government, private sector, civil sector, pero merong distansya yan. Yeah? Malayo, hindi talaga interconnected. But during the Malampaya implementation, that project, I experienced personally working closely with the DNR. For example, we have a multi-partite monitoring team. I sit down with the various stakeholders in the multi-partite monitoring team. We discuss plans alongside with the plans of implementing the project, and we work together. Wala nang barriers. We just work as a team. And that's what essentially is what I'm proposing and what we have agreed on in IMDM, that we have to have this dynamic partnership. And dynamic partnership allows you to be flexible and dynamic enough to recognize the changes, adapt to it, because nothing is stationary. Change is permanent. So you have to have the agility to change. And what we're seeing from this diagram, from the picture up there to down here, you see here there's closer coordination of government, private, and civil sector. This is what we want to achieve in terms of, for example, improving our crisis management response and prevention, by the way. Hindi lang response. So that's the recent talks that we're doing. Kami nila Jason, and with volunteers for sa Bicol, no? Tarabangan, Bicol, when we responded to Typhoon Christine, and during the after action review, this is what basically we want to do. Work together in a more kumbaga shared values fashion, no? Work as a team. So as alumni, we should live the values of our tagline: lead, inspire, and transform. And this is what we basically want to do as IMDM. We want to live up to this mantra of lead, inspire, transform. And we have the platform to do that, recognizing the different challenges that we have. So this is IMDM, International Movement of Development Managers. And the logo here, if I may just expound on it, is basically our strategy in a diagram. What does this mean, this logo? Let me show you. No? It is shaped as a cube in a dynamic motion. Hindi naka-flat, no? It's cube in a dynamic motion. And cube is like a block, a building block, and representing corners of and our contribution for sustainable development. And in a way, the cube reminds us of the Rubik's Cube. Remember the Rubik's Cube? Which is a very difficult puzzle. But today, mga kids, yung mga bata, kaya-kaya nila i-solve yan, ano? Probably because of the more tools and available solutions that can be found, and representing the puzzling difficulty and complexities of the challenges today. So the Rubik's Cube, complex challenges. Now, the big arrows. When I say big arrows, this is referred to this white arrow going to the center, the green and the blue arrow. So all of them point to the center. That means representing the three key stakeholders of society, and that's yung three stakeholders of society. Yeah, yung government, private, and civil sector working together, forging dynamic partnerships for action that reaches out, represented by the black arrows pointing outwards. Ito yung black arrows, no? This is reaching out to them. But ang resulta, the three sectors of society will work together. So IMDM serves there as a catalyst. The small white triangle represents IMDM in our purpose to serve as a catalyst for the three sectors of society to form as one team in a synergy of action. Yan ang role natin as IMDM. And note that the arrows going out are all black. In chemistry, a catalyst promotes the chemical reaction of different substances to form a new substance. That's the synergy that we want. No? And as we work together, we find the superior solutions stronger than our individual perspectives or frames of reference, either as a member of government, private, or civil sector. Hopefully, we can enable a better approach to solving the problems and take on the challenges of society in this way. Yeah? So meaning of colors in addition, para naintindihan natin yung basic strategy, and as we apply it, we will be reminded of it. White, representing light with truth, honesty, servant leadership, our faith in the Almighty, aspirations for leaders of integrity in society from government, civil, and private sectors. Blue represents peace, blue waters, or the circular economy nowadays. Agenda of the private sector for sustainable development goals. It also represents excellence. Remember blue diamonds? In the past, we had the blue diamonds, pilots natin. Ang gagaling nun. The blue diamond is one of the rarest diamonds. And napaka expensive yung blue diamond. So we want that as well, excellence. Green is sustainable development, green planet, action, and also representing go action. Take action instead of just sitting down and just reminiscing on your knowledge, but doing nothing about it. And representing the stake of NGOs. And black arrows, courage, boldness, commitment, conviction, and resoluteness in our action. So if we can embed this, internalize these values, we will be successful in really making an impact in the challenges of society. So let me share with you the vision of IMDM. So we crafted during our time when we were taking up the MDM. No? So we envision ourselves to be dynamic professionals and enlightened managers and leaders, affecting positive change through the pursuit of good governance and sustainable development. So ang focus natin, good governance, sustainable development. And towards this end, we commit to a culture of excellence, mastery of self, synergy of action, thereby enhancing our firm resolve to improve the quality of lives of people. Okay, so much is said, but are we living up to this vision and mission? So we will look into it. And the strategy that we encourage is this, no? Simple lang, IMDM will perform partnership with whoever organization. And we have a MOA, it can be formalized, it may not be formalized, but the thing is, we have a working partnership with an organization for the development project or initiative. Yeah. Example, Philippine Bamboo Society of Advocates. This is the initiative Coratec ourselves. Let's form this because we believe in bamboo. Let's form the Philippine Bamboo Society of Advocates together with the guru of bamboo in the Philippines, Dr. Tesoro. And now we were progressing this, and I will show you later on. Another example is our project in Bicol, which is a MOA. We signed that MOA in 2021 between and among IMDM, Sustainable Development Projects, and PBSAI and UP Balon, the Bicol organization of alumni and students. And now we're leading the Project Bicolanos for Bicol Bamboo and Beyond, which is for short, this is P4B. P4B, no? Project, and then apat na B. Bicolanos for Bicol Bamboo, and it's not limited to bamboo, it goes beyond bamboo. But there's a strategy why the initial collaboration will be focused on bamboo. Now, so the initial partnership will reach out to the civil sector, private sector, and government. Yeah? And how is this being represented? In the recent project sa Aon Siargao, this is very much manifested. Many of the partners are coming from government, NGO, and private sector. So the strategy is working, and that is can be scaled up. And that is also the direction we're taking in P4B. And soon, and more recently, we have taken on board a project on education because we have an education crisis in the country. Yeah. So once we have that, the third phase is really we will work as a team. Yeah. Really close knit, working as one team. The government, private sector, and civil sector working as one team. And we tackle whatever problems we have. So these bridging leaders, our team, mobilizing the intervention teams to address footprint issues. Elmer mentioned about, whatever is your initiative. It could be an initiative on environment or security. So we have a peace and security team. We have a SDG team, information, education, communication team, which is very, very important because media or communication to our stakeholders is one of the critical success factors in working on our challenges. And we need critical mass. So we need more. We need your participation, joining us in this endeavor. Kami nila Elmer, we're working together and collaborating on sa kanya education, I mentioned to him, P4B is also engaging the academic sector because they will be part of the value chain. They will do the research of our activities in Bicol on the and developing new products or better farming techniques, etc. And they will do the papers and working on the initiative. So we'll have with these teams all working together, addressing the complex challenges that we have. Hopefully, we will make a dent. And continuous improvement, yung iterative process na kailangan for continuous improvement will be applied here. And management systems, tools will be used. In due time, we already have a concept of the management system that we will be working. We will always review our initiatives on leadership, the stakeholder engagement, risk assessment, strategies and plans being implemented, monitored, yeah, reported and communicated to the stakeholders. And there will always be a review that will incorporate all the learning so that the next year you will improve on what you're doing. And it revolves in Deming cycle, plan, do, check, act, management system theory, And we can do this anywhere in Asia and in the world. So Asia, maganda yung reach natin. We have a lot of Asian students, alumni, and in recent years, even global, because of the usefulness of the tools of learning, pwedeng online lang. So you have global audience already. But if AIM will have a stronger brand, it will be able to reach out more. So we can imagine that. It's in our partnerships, we have working relationship with AIM as an institution of learning. And very soon, next year, we hope to formalize some of these partnerships. Whereas now, medyo papaalam lang tayo sa paggamit ng case room or Fuller Hall, that sort of a working partnership already. In the future, we could probably expand this to reviving yung sinasabi natin, Jeffrey, yung AIM acting as a command center during disaster. That is very possible given that AIM has a course on disaster management. Then it should lead by example as well in taking that role of a command center, one of the command centers. Because sometimes if Metro Manila is devastated by an earthquake, for continuity, you should have a command center that is outside. Let's say Clark's office, yung PDRF, that can oversee it. And if we are able to set up one in Bicol, we can also take that. And that is also a practice in the oil industry. Not only in one place that we have the command center, merong business continuity planning. Where can when we continue our business if Manila is devastated? We can shift to let's say Cebu, if you have identified that. And when do you set it up? Before the disaster, before any crisis, you have to set it up so that when it's ready, when disaster strikes, you are ready to move for business continuity. Very simple. It's captured in this. Dynamic partnerships for sustainable development. Dynamic partnership for SD. Yung 4S niyan. Scan. We are trained to do the environmental assessment, and then analyze it so that you can have a strategy and you work with teams. So you synergize and you work together in symphony like an orchestra, just playing one sheet of music. Hindi pwedeng iba-iba kayong tono o ibang sheet. Walang makabulhong. But if you play under one sheet working together, then you create beautiful music. And then we deliver. So yun yung strategy natin. Do we live by this? Yung Imdm. These are the initiatives we have been doing through the years, during the early days, we conducted a leadership and development management strategies for effective social change. And the slides I presented to you were presented during that time. Yeah? And that was a topic. See, President Ramos was our guest speaker then when we graduated. And one of the earliest projects, Malampaya case studies. We wrote 10 case studies so that it can be brought to AIM for more structured learning. So this is continuing, Until now, we hear about, stakeholder engagement. During my time when I was still in Shell, a lot of times I appeared in AIM just to share on stakeholder engagements. We have this project, no, done in Bicol, Barangay Improvement Development Action. So we can empower a barangay if we are needed. And if a local government unit would like to empower their barangay captains or the whole barangay, for example, in disaster preparedness, we can also arrange that. We have an energy project led by Joe Chuseco. We had a gold project on developing a course for mariners. We had conventions or workshops or forums, no? 2012. Doon namin yung araw kasama namin diyan, yung mga DevPro term na launch diyan, yung DevPro Roundtable Summit. And jumping to the most recent areas, no. In 2018 we already held a disaster resiliency and crisis management workshop at the Fuller Hall, inviting the Safety and Health Association of the Philippine Energy Sector. So lahat ng members niyan coming from the energy sector, so yung mga different companies, Boetis, Meralco, Shell, etc. We discussed about this disaster resiliency at the Fuller Hall and shared on the experiences. Yeah. On April 22, 2021, we launched the Philippine Bamboo Society of Advocates. Kami yung driver niyan to puro MDM alumni ang nag-take ng leadership to really form the association so that we can engage all the stakeholders in a more structured way and help in growing this industry. And in Bicol, I'm particularly taking the lead on growing the bamboo industry in Bicol. Kulelat ang Bicol, unlike in Mindanao, they have in Bukidnon, in Cagayan de Oro, head na sila. In recent days, they just announced the break nila yung Guinness Book World Records in the number of bamboos planted by so many individuals, no, sa Mindanao. That's good. We promote that. And we hope to break that in Bicol in the years to come. When we work together, yeah, we will do that. Then also in 2022, we launched the Bicolanos for Bicol Bamboo and Beyond project. Yeah, and we already have PBSI, IMDM, UP Balon as prime mover organizations, and we are counting the expansion of our collaborating organizations. More recently, Rhizome, yung company ni Cito Lorenzo, former DA secretary, joined us already. And Filipina Shell Foundation is part of it. Yung Gibo is an organization in Bicol, a cooperative, no? Credo, Ateneo Dinaga, batchmate namin. Yan. AIM chapter, Bicol chapter are also part of this and more. So education sector ni Elmer, some of the schools will be joining us, especially the schools being engaged by UP Balon. There are some 26 private schools who regularly participate in the Padunungan event of Ibalon. And this is our high school students, very the youth leaders of tomorrow, no? 2022, we also held a scientific conference on bamboo. We gathered all the available scientific papers on bamboo and collated and presented it in one day. And so many can know about the research that are going on. And also, we jointly hosted a business conference on bamboo last year, yes. And various examples and business cases on bamboo. And there we learned, in fact, that DOST has already a textile research from bamboo. No? Ang ganda pala ng textile, textile that can be produced from bamboo. If you happen to buy one, it's like it feels like silk. So try it out. There are so many bamboo products in SM. You will see that. Hopefully, we hope to provide it in the future. Again, this year, P4B, we were able to engage Rhizome because last year we attempted to apply. We did not even make it to the application point because we did not have an international commercial partner. This year, we were able to convince Rhizome to join us, and we applied in the NIDA grant, but unfortunately, we did not make it. But we were able to apply, and the partnership with Rhizome continues, which is more important because we want to put up a plant in Bicol, a bamboo e-lumber plant in the future, like 3-4 years from now. But the priority now is just a lot of planting. Now, Ahon Siargao, we just, Coratec stayed in Burgos, Siargao for 2 years, leading this initiative of rehabilitation. And it happened this way. Father Tito, who is also an MDM alumni, an alumnus, called up Coratec for help. And Coratec took the leadership and responded. And from initial funds of small funds, it really expanded to many organizations helping it. And from initial fund of less than 200,000, I think it's running now into the millions. And recently, Base Bahay, Bamboo, committed to build 10 houses, I think, on bamboo to help in more resilient classrooms, for example, or houses. So things are moving. And the strategy is basically what we have presented. Engage the key sectors of government, civil and private, to work together as one team. So for this Aon Siargao, they were able to rehabilitate 14 child development centers. So that's a big contribution to helping Siargao makaahon, kaya Ahon Siargao eh. Okay? And also recently, yung class namin, celebrating our 20 years anniversary, we held a series of roundtable discussions. And let me walk you through. When we celebrated last year, yung 20th anniversary namin, November, so it's just kumustahan annual and then discuss some issues. But we committed to hold at least on a quarterly basis yung gathering, no? So in first quarter this year, March, we held an education forum led by Henry Tanedero, the class president ng aming class. And I was invited by Henry. We invited Poch Macaranas to reminisce the good old days. And we were able to discuss key issues on the challenges of education in the country and dwelt on the EDCOM 2 report that declared education crisis in the Philippines. And we asked again ourselves, what do we do? So what we did was to organize. I talked to Dr. Chris Bernido, the founder of CVIF Dynamic Learning Program, who's together with my sister Marivic. And I asked him, what's happening with your CVIF DLP? Why don't we organize so that we can know where are we now and where do we want to go given the crisis in education? So we had that, asked permission from President G. Kim Kang to use Fuller Hall and work with the Alumni Relations Office and civil other offices of AIM and organize this forum, which we entitled CVIF Dynamic Learning Program, 22 years and over 1,000 schools after. My purpose here was really to showcase this because I know that this education pedagogy is working. And with the crisis in education, let's share that working at the proven working education pedagogy and learn from it. So we did the conference in July 9. 5 months after, we are now, yung DepEd visited already the CVIF in Bohol, and even the EDCOM 2 representatives visited Bohol. And there was an opportunity, Dr. Chris Bernido was invited by Secretary of Education, the DepEd, to make the presentation last November. And he did, and the directive of the Secretary is apply it to the disaster-stricken areas, regions 1 to 5. And later on, expanded it to all, because all the regional managers, regional directors were present. There's now initiative to apply it nationwide. So it will not just happen if we don't organize it. So now we're thinking IMDM should provide a platform to an organization to grow the organizational capacity so that we can help the DepEd and improve the education system in the country with a proven pedagogy by this CVIF DLP. Just to highlight, that school we started implementing DLP in 2002. during the time, the baseline data was that the school was performing below the average of the national performance. Nasa below sila, no? So most of their students below average. After implementing by 2010, 60% of their graduating class already are in the top 10 in the national picture, no? So it works, and in other schools among the 1,000 applying, they are also seeing the same results. 60 to 70% of their graduating high school class belong to the top 10 in the country. So if we implement that in all schools of DepEd that would like to implement it, then and help them implement it, embed it, we can easily now perform a lot better than being the last in the PISA test, the recent years. And nalaman ko na since 1995 pala, when Marivic and Chris researched on the challenges, because it was really difficult, 1995 pa kulelat na tayo. Ngayon lang tayo nalaman na, uy, crisis na pala. Sila, alam na nila, 1995 pa lang, crisis na, matagal na. From dati, number 2 tayo in Asia, crisis na. So, even the governance systems natin, crisis na yan. We have to move. We should not be in the boiling frog syndrome, if you remember some of the talks of our professors. Yung crisis na tayo, di pa tayo kumikibo. Boiling frog na pala, mamamatay ka na. So, let's rise up from this state that we have, crisis in many sectors of our governance, education, good governance, etc. No? So let's move on. Some of pictures of some of the initiatives we had, no, participation nila. And my challenge is this: we have some initiatives in the pipeline by year 2025. So it's partnership with UP Ibalon in hosting the Padunungan. These are engaging 26 schools or more in Naga City, and with the theme related to what's very pressing, disaster resiliency. And so we hope with the partnership with AIM, we can empower these students, at least be aware of the challenges in resiliency, no? And then they will probably be the future students of AIM for the course, the disaster resiliency. Also, we show them what we have. No? Potential consultancy work for a global company on renewable energy. We have already made a proposal here. We're just waiting for the results. And this is in partner with UP Balon. UP Balon scientist approached me on this. Can IMDM help on this one? So, well, sure. We have the platform to do that, especially with our experience in the oil and gas sector. So, nakahanda na yan. If we need more consultants, we hope to reach out to the MDM alumni and other courses in AIM. There's case writing work for Aon Siargao, similar to our Malampaya case studies. This is up and coming. Coratec is taking the initiative on this one some months ahead. No, a conference on workshop coming April 21, 22, and 23. April 22 is the Earth Day. So we are targeting first day on the disaster risk reduction, then P4B on the second day, and the education crisis on the third day. More about what can we do, what needs to be done, what else do we need to initiate, and learning from the lessons from the past, no? And progress the initiatives in Bamboo in collaboration with PPSAI nationwide. Potential long-term partnership with DepEd, given the response of DepEd, recognizing that we could be of help using the CVIF DLP. I'm now gearing up to also increase the organizational capacity of IMDM in case, because we need to put support system nationwide on this one. So we will be recruiting. We are also writing the third edition of the CVIF DLP manual, which ang second edition was in 2011. I co-wrote this with Dr. Skis and Marivic Bernido. My part is on the management system to make it sustainable. So this is ripe now for instituting. So the third edition will now cover the experiences of the other major schools applying DLP and show them what's happening. Second, we have to integrate the impact of AI. Yeah, so that's important. What's the present scenario now? Given that we have a crisis in education, we have to write about that. So all those implementing it will be guided by this manual. Kulang na yung guidance nung second edition. We are now beset with a lot of other new drivers. So let's have the manual to guide them, and then we have the organization IMDM to support them and assist them together with Smart PLDT, which has been supporting the CVIF DLP for the longest time since 2011, I think. So we build on this and expand. So those are the initiatives, and of course, we need you to be part of it. So IMDM invites MDM alumni to be part of the pool of development professionals who can be engaged for short stint projects to long-term ones as the opportunity arises. So, simple mechanics lang. Merong registration and joining fee as an investor or an associate. So, the fees will be different. An annual renewal fee to cover admin matters. It's just like you immediately having a consultancy business. You will have your business card, your SEC registered. Wala ka na, if you set up your own, it will be expensive, no? And if many MDM alumni will set up their own individually, mas malaki ang cost natin. But if you work together, put it under the platform of IMDM, you will still have the independence, agility to engage development professional work and work with us for a minimum fee. And outright, pwede mo na bigay yung calling card, development professional or associate, yeah, or subject matter expert. And there will be representation, and we have already sort of a backing up of the whole organization. Whether you need more people or less people, the organization will adjust. Okay, and then in essence, now what's in it for you? You will have, if you are involved in a project, you will have a professional fee that can range from 5K. These are for the administrative work that even a college student can do, like what we're experiencing in UP Ibalon. May scholars kami sa Ibalon na parang student scholarship assistance yan eh. So it works at minimal fee, up to 100K if you're a project lead. Yeah? For development professionals, this is suitable. This can work already. But if you have a special project that needs more skills, then we can offer a higher professional fees, depending on the skill level. No? In essence, IMDM, Sustainable Development Projects, provides the platform for an alumnus or alumna to be a development professional right away as compared to the other option of setting up own consultancy. In other words, when you graduate from your course, approach us, you will be a member, you just pay a minimal fee, and then you can already work as a development professional. If you have an idea already of implementing your capstone project, you can immediately do it and have it registered and get the other resources from colleagues in MDM. No? So that will work. That is our invite. Let's work together as one team and take action forward. So in all these challenges, that's the mantra. No? Let's just work together in many aspects in development work, the challenges that we face, and move it forward. Hopefully, maiangat natin yung bayan natin. So if you're interested, just email me and we will take it on board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pons. It's good to know na ito nahihinog na yung systems of IMDM. So just a question. No? So the MDM class of 2024 just graduated last Saturday actually. No?
Okay.
Assuming that meron sa kanilang, sabihin mo na a handful, no? 5 to 10 of them decided, o sige, join kami dito sa GZO fellowship program just so that we can use it as a platform. We want to advocate to some UN agencies or engage UN agencies, no, show our newly found skills, and then also be open to possible contracts. Tapos nilapitan sila. Kunwari, they're working with and then may pilot project with, say, the city of Pasig, and now they're being asked to submit a proposal, how would that unfold? Parang, oh, we heard about this IMDM, we're asked to submit a proposal, kilala na kami, pinapabid nga kami. How would
Yeah.
they, ano,
Okay. This is actually what happens in the past, no? If one MDM alumni or alumna has a project in mind, merong opportunity, and he or she needs the organization to deliver it, approach us, IMDM, discuss the project proposal, we discuss in the board, and we take it on board. You could probably, now, with the structured process that we have, you become a member of IMDM with a minimum membership fee. And we will work out because meron pang finder's keeper pa nga yan eh. Yun sa ating yung
finder's
setup.
fee?
Finder's fee. So we will make the proposal as an organization. Like very recently, the proposal to the renewable energy company that is eyeing a project. Ganon. The individual from UP Balon approached me and we made a proposal. And with the standard proposals of service companies, you have your project work, you have administrative work, and you have your profit. So that so then you go back to your city government who asked you for a proposal. We submit it under the name of IMDM. If you want to take the role of project lead, then the organization presented in the proposal will name you as a project lead. And you will have members, just choose your members kung sino. If not pa, pwedeng TBA naman yan, saka ka na mag-recruit pag in-award na yung project sa'yo. Madali na yan. You can announce in the platform, oh, meron kami yung project dito. Anybody interested to work? Meron kayong free time. Kasi you can work from home or anywhere else. So you have a virtual company that will be agile enough and adaptable enough to whatever needs to be done. So yun ang platform na yan.
Okay, and can we
And then,
take on international projects?
Pwede. In fact, that's being considered already with the opportunities of DepEd, yung CVIF Dynamic Learning Program. That program is not only limited to the Philippines. There are many visitors sa school nila from Singapore and other countries. They've looked into it. They're interested, and who can help them implement it? Tayong puposisyon doon. So if RISA can bring it to Africa, there's a lot of opportunities there. That can be a global. So the platform will be flexible enough that in due time, we will have more. There will be a breakthrough project somewhere, let's say in Asia, in Africa. Then you have global reach already. Because if people or alumni will get to know about how we are doing it here and gets a good review, then we can expand. It's just like a company na Grab or yung hotels without hotels, yung
Airbnb.
Airbnb. It's that in the future we'll probably have a more structured way of applying via the website of IMDM. We will do that. That's in the works. We will refine our website in the future and add these tools to help our organization with the tools of collaboration that are now present. You mentioned email was already something great 20 years ago. Yung
Breakthrough
Zoom,
technology na yun.
yung Zoom recently lang yan. No? Before Zoom, Skype lang tayo. I remember I had early experiences of this collaboration. They were so expensive before that only big companies can afford them. We used to have global conferences using online. We were so proud of it. No, I was still in specs then, or I was still in Kazakhstan, and we would do global instead of traveling. Very expensive in traveling. But now with these tools, Zoom makes it so easy. Yeah. So we can even have the conference with 600 participants because of Zoom. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's exciting times because now we have adequate tools to be more effective in collaborating.
Okay.
So I hope, because this will be anyway recorded and shared online,
Yes.
those listening, I invite them to contact us. Contact me and I will process your inquiry. Join us, more importantly, so that you'll be ready to accept any opportunities. And the thing is, we also do not limit ourselves to the rising of opportunities. Sometimes you have to create the opportunity.
Yes, yes.
What did we do in the education? We had a conference last July, just making it more visible. And now we have lots of opportunities because there are many schools were approaching us and asking, can we implement that in this school, etc. Now, so there's about at least 5 private schools, apart from the DepEd, no, who are now, this creates a lot of opportunities for us. So we need organizational capacity build up as well. That's why I'm offering you this opportunity. And it's not limited only to MDM alumni.
Okay.
Other disciplines, in fact, other consultants, when they can work with you, we should be inclusive. But we will take the lead as the founder of IMDM. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much kay Pons Carpio, MDM 2003. Uh, hoping that we can reap the fruits of our yung wisdom ng mga MDM alums, and we can put together these platforms to take us forward, no, for the next cohorts of MDM. So we're inviting everyone dito, mga AIM alumni, whether you're MDM or MBM or MM or the other um, programs. We're inviting you to take part in this. We have the Gaston Z. Ortigas Fellowship Program. That's a way of building up or reskilling based on your interests. That's the fellowship program. And then we have this IMDM platform. It's a consulting and development platform so that we can act as an individual or collectively with the network of AIM alums all over the country and in the different countries.
If I may add, Elmer,
Mhm.
if you notice, shoot na shoot yung platform ng IMDM for your fellows, your Gaston Z. Ortigas. Because if I'm one of the alumni, I will enroll in your GZ. Or if I don't have any idea yet on the initiative, I can approach IMDM and just choose saan mo gusto ma-involve, education, disaster resiliency, or good governance. You can be part of us and then implement. You know, a lot of these initiatives from IMDM at this time are all investments from voluntary work. But in due time, we are envisioning that there will be private sector groups who will be approaching us because of the network capital that we have, the social capital that we have already built on, and the brand that is now growing. And if we leverage on the brand of AIM, that creates a lot of opportunities for both AIM and IMDM, because AIM will now have a better pipeline for receiving future students, and then interested organizations that will send their senior managers and leaders to AIM for whatever course that is needed. So we look forward to that. And then the individual who was enrolled in Gaston C. Ortigas, in 6 months' time, he finishes that and is equipped again with more tools. So, and then you see, it will just evolve as collaboration. You have already, we grow our capital as well, because the MDM alumni will be in many areas in the Philippines or even abroad. So yung abroad, it will happen definitely kasi meron ng mga ideas of, let's say, bringing this program elsewhere. That's like that. The private sector contacting us for a particular work that will involve like tools that we've learned, like RAA, community sensing. These are the expertise that we have. So we create the opportunities for that by raising, like, let's say, the awareness on DRR. What is entailed in DRR? A lot. The government does not, well, if I may say, needs at least the infusion of other ideas from other sectors of the government, of society. The private sector is a rich ground to tap in terms of expertise. So, and this, we've lived through, let's say, for example, in the oil and gas industry, we always do drills on our plants. We take scenarios. We have scenarios for earthquake, typhoons, oil spill, apart from oil spill response, fire, etc. And we have set up all the infrastructure to make it work. Otherwise, kung wala yung management system, it will just be good on paper, which will not meet the requirements during an actual emergency. That is what we also want to impart in our discussions with the teams that were involved in the disaster preparedness. So much to talk about and so much to learn from my fellow colleagues. So let's do it.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much kay Pons and all the participants here. We look forward to seeing more of you. We hope you apply dito sa IMDM and our GZO fellowship. And we look forward to working with you in 2025 and beyond.
So this will be available, the recording,
Yes,
edited
yes, yes.
version
We'll upload it to
in our social media, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Thank you
have a
very
nice
much,
day.
Paul.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks.
nice day and Merry
Thanks.
Christmas.
Okay,
Bye, thanks.
bye-bye.